Tram stop. Dito kami sa Christchurch.
We lost 90% of the city centre, 90%. So 1,200 buildings were destroyed. And so when we make our left-hand turn and go down into the city centre, pretty much everything we're going to see for the next 10 minutes or 40 minutes is brand new city centre. Across the park up on the left though is a building that survived, the old public trust building, built in the same year as this tram in 1950. Right, a statue of Robert Hawkins Scott, the Antarctic explorer, carved from his widow Kathleen, and she was on board a ship bound for Lyttelton in 1912, but she learned that her husband, together with the whole of his polar team, had perished on their way back from the South Pole. Coming up to step number 3, which is known as Mill Island. Known for this island on the right hand side, which for 29 years in the early days of Christchurch, there was a flour mill on that side there. And eventually they wanted to build that bridge. They had to take 2/3 of the island away. And the bridge became not popular by the Beautification Society, reminders there used to be a mill there. The original water wheel was about 3 times the size. Right in front of the tram there are 3 bollards blocking our way. When they pick up that there's a tram waiting, those bollards will fall to the ground and give me access into the pedestrian area. And when that happens, the first thing we're going to pass on the left-hand side is called the terrace. There are over 20 different bars, restaurants and eateries on that block on the left-hand side, all drawn by overhead bridges and walkways and stuff like that. All brand new since the earthquake. So there's nothing on this block on the left-hand side that survived the earthquake. Centrepiece of which is a statue of a man called Henry Nicholas. Henry Nicholas, a carpenter from Lincoln, just south of Christchurch, the only person from Canterbury to have been awarded a Victoria Cross for his bravery during the First World War. That's the highest decoration for bravery in the face of the enemy that the New Zealand saw in the capital. Off to the right, that is the Bridge of Remembrance, dedicated on Armistice Day, the 11th of November in 1924. Dedicated to those men and women who served during the First World War. So stop number... This is the Riverside Market. Riverside Market's down that lane on the right. That's our biggest street.
Pasahero.
The main building survived right at the end, Valentine's Department Store. The oldest department store in New Zealand, been a department store on this site since 1854. John Valentine built it in 1872. He renamed it Valentine after his family, and it's still owned by his descendants. So not just the name of the still family owned.
50 minutes sa isang oras. Stop over.
Number 7. Down the side of the Tram Modern, this mural only dates from 2022, which was when that building was put onto the facade. And as we go back up the street, the last building we pass on the left-hand side, there's a beauty parlour and a barber's shop there, and that's again just the facade. The front is before the earthquakes, everything behind it was demolished and they built a new building. And on the side of that, there's a mural. But you can hardly see it because they're building a new building next to it. And you can there's a tiny little gap between them, and you can still see them. So it's a very pink mural of a girl blowing a big bubblegum bubble out of it. But you can hardly see it now because they're building on the corner. And that's it's been what. The earthquakes were 12 or 13 years ago. We had 4 in 15 months. First one on the 4th of September 2010. The last one on the 23rd of December 2011. The one that really destroyed the city was the second in the sequence. That was on the 22nd of February 2011. And so after that, they did a lot of demolition. But it's like 12 years since they've really started rebuilding the city centre. So, and we're only about halfway through. We've probably still got another 12 years to go, and we're just getting into this side of the city now. And so you'll see we've still got sort of empty blocks like this. All the gravel car parks were where buildings were before the earthquakes. But this area was largely commercial at the time of the earthquakes, and lots of it is being rezoned to residential. In a modern city, you don't need as many commercial buildings and many shops as you used to have, which is, as you go around the world, most city centres have lots of empty shops in them. It's because people trade on the internet now and they don't go to proper shops. And so Christchurch had the opportunity to redesign the city centre. The original city centre had been designed in 1850 when the first settlers came, and so they literally, so we lost 90% of the city centre. It was just flattened. And so starting with that, they decided, oh well, we don't need as many shops and things, they're building fewer. But one thing we don't have in Christchurch is people living in the centre. It's a very flat city, so it's easy to get out of. So we live around the periphery with suburban, or we go over the hills and we go into the rural areas. And so we have very, very few people in the centre. They thought it would be a good idea to have more people living in the centre. So they're changing. That block there, the whole block was all commercial before the earthquake. So rows of shops and offices. They all got demolished because of how badly damaged they were, and it's all housing going there now, and they're looking to try to increase the city centre population fourfold by the end of the decade, and it's working quite well. I live outside. I live the other side of the hills in the country, and I can't understand why people would pay $1 million to come and live in a box in the city, but lots of people want to do that. You don't even get a garage for that, so but no, if you're around in the evening, particularly in the middle of the week, Christchurch tends to empty quite early because of the fact we don't have people living in the centre, and eventually this will bring a lot more life to the city, I think, in the evenings. But we'll move on now, back up into the city. Was shaken off, and that was all. And this tram that you're sitting on is 103 years old, built in 1922, built in Christchurch, and it was built on this road here. We're just going to cross over Manchester Street, and this was built by the Broom Company, and the Broom factory was on Manchester Street, which is this street here. So this tram, every time it comes down the city centre, in effect coming home. So this stop number 9, this stop for the transitional cathedral. This place sometimes known as the Cardboard Cathedral, which is well worth a visit. It's just 5 minutes walk down to the right hand side, at the junction of Hereford Street and Madras Street. Disaster in Christchurch. An iconic building, it's a beautiful building. And very, very uncertain future, very nice. They've just started to do guided tours through the inside of the building though, which start this evening if you're interested in that. I think there's a charge for $25 to get on the tour, but it starts about 4:30 in the afternoon. So lots of great activities to try and that we're ordering online. There's a huge touch screen that gives you lots of information about the area that you can drill down into. And on the top floor there are 2 viewing platforms to give you great panoramic views over the city. Right, so we just missed the light there at Cambridge. So tram stop 11 for this big art gallery. The main entrance is to the right, just around the front of the glass panels. And if you haven't had lunch yet, a very nice little restaurant here called Fiddlesticks. Stop 11.
Ito yung museum ato nila. Ayun. Kagutom yung amoy ah. Diyan lumulutang si ano eh.
Dali.
Kami sa Art Gallery. Central Art Gallery daw yan. Dito pala may mga toilet din eh. Look at this place. This one is in Christchurch, New Zealand. May historic building nito. Ha? Garden. Gardens. Malawak pala to eh.
20 minutes yung tram na.
Pwede namang ano, anytime. Abang ka lang dun. Okay na to. Diretso na to.
Oo.
Kaway kayo ha. 1, 2, 3, kaway. Isa pa! Mabuhay Philippines! Diba? Alright.
Galing talaga, bro.
Sumaya na naman tayo. Sumaya na naman yun, no? Dahil puno nawala. Nawala na ng dahon eh. Parang dyan tayo dati na gano'n. Picture ata yung mataas na yan.
Hello, New Zealand.
Loan. Lateris. Lateris yun. Hello guys, ayan, dito kami sa Botanic Garden here in Christchurch, New Zealand. Laki naman. A seasonal symphony. Seasonal symphony daw yun. Dahil naman nag-iikot yung pinak na parang mga halaman nila. Ayun sila. Laking puno. Grabe yung katawan niya. Yung tao ata umano rito eh. Botanic Garden, Christchurch Botanic Garden. Hindi pa season ng rose eh, pero pag season wala na, hindi na season eh. Pero pag nag-season ng rose, ang ganda nitong lugar na to. Naka 5 plus eh. Mga laman. Pero hindi malanta. Daanan ng hangin. Pag winter para hindi siya mamatay sa lamig. Dito mama, hindi na malamig dito mama. Ganda ng mga art gallery nila. Ay, ang ganda na. Hello. Demonstration pa sila. Mga bato. Kailan ito? Yung mga natibag na bato. Yung mga natibag na bato na sa earthquake. Ito yung mga nabasag na mga galing sa mga building na nabasag ng earthquake.
Baka mandar eh. Upo ka dun oh.
Picture ka sa cry.
Parang
Sa kabila, kung dahil hindi kayo magkakina.
Hindi dapat dito ka na. Sa kabila ka.
Mandar na. Nakasakay na naman si mama sa lamig.
Mahal yata dyan. Mahal yata dyan.
Pasok na kami sa ano. Ayos ah. Parang, parang sumakay lang sa jeep, may dihila ano. Stop, para.
Folks, stop number 14 for Hagley Park.
Ah, mainit nga rito. Dito.
Parliament on an act of perpetuity, Council Bill on residential conversion design, 42 bridges which the tram crosses two of this. The second one we cross here, this is the Last Street Bridge. We come down the other side here, through to a really beautiful square here, it's got 17 houses. Fantastic. Victorian Square, here she comes. Namesake itself is very regal, very royal, and constantly miserable himself. She was on the throne for 63 years, all in all, 1837 through to 1901, upon her death on the Isle of Wight at Osborne House. We've got the statue 2 years after her death, 23rd of May 1903. There's a newspaper report written with our local paper stating that the statue was going to be in the album.
Ayan, tapos ang aming ride. Tapos na, ayan na sila. Bye.